Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing great mathematics. In this video, we will learn about algebra from Mathematical Olympiads. This is particularly useful if you are in middle school. This problem came up in Singapore Math Olympiad. It says that 3 plus root 5 raised to the power 3. Look at this number and tell the greatest integer smaller than this number. The greatest integer smaller than this number. This is sometimes called the greatest integer function. For example, the greatest integer smaller than 2.3 is 2. The greatest integer smaller than 2.3, right? Okay, what is the greatest integer smaller than negative 3.1? Can you give an answer in the comment section? The greatest integer smaller than negative 3.1. Okay, now that we have sorted that out, let's look at this problem and learn from it. If you are enrolled in a Math Olympiad program at Cheenta, then you know that as a principle, we start with a problem and then we move toward concept. It's called a problem-driven curriculum. You can also try that at home. You should always start with a problem, try to discover the principles that are underlying it, and then you will discover the underlying theoretical concepts. You can ask a friend, talk to a teacher, but start with a problem. Give it a try, okay? All right, let's go back to this. So 3 plus root 5 raised to the power 3. There is a trick that you can use to solve this sort of problem. It's called the conjugate strategy. Conjugate strategy. What it essentially does is, let's say if we have 3 plus root 5, then the conjugate of it is 3 minus root 5. If you multiply conjugates, something interesting happens. You get an integer. 3 plus root 5 times 3 minus root 5 is simply 3 square minus root 5 square, which is 9 minus 5, which is 4. If you multiply conjugates, you get an integer. If you add conjugates, you get an integer, which is awesome because it is easier to work with integers than with surds. Surds means stuff with square root in them, cube root, square root, and so on. So we will be using this conjugate strategy. Coming back to the question, 3 plus root 5 raised to the power 3. We want to know the greatest integer smaller than it. So what we'll do is we'll add 3 minus root 5 raised to the power 3. The conjugate cube. The conjugate cube. Okay, so why we do it, we will observe a very simple thing. Notice that 5 is between 4 and 9. So square root of 4 will be in between, square root of 5 will be in between square root of 4 and square root of 9. So square root of 5 is between 2 and 3. Now I'll give you a challenge question here. This is a subtle conceptual point. When I put a square root sign, why did the inequality not change? Think about it. Inequality sometimes changes. For example, negative 3 is less than negative 2, but if you square it, 9 will be greater than 4. So the inequality will actually flip if you square it. So there are certain operations which flips the inequality. Why is it true that if I take the square root, the inequality stays the same? These are very deep conceptual points. You should always think about them. Okay, coming back to this. So root 5 is a number between 2 and 3. So 3 minus root 5 is between 0 and 1. If you subtract from 3 something between 2 and 3, then you'll get something between 0 and 1. So 3 minus root 5 whole cube is also between 0 and 1. If you raise a fraction to a power, it will still stay a fraction. Okay, so what if we can show that this sum is an integer? If we can show that this sum is an integer, then this number, whatever it is, plus some fraction. When I say fraction, don't take it literally. It's not really a rational number I'm talking about. When I say fraction, think about a number between 0 and 1. So some x plus the fraction is an integer. So the integer part of 3 plus root 5 whole cube will be this minus 1. Right? So whatever this is, minus 1 will be the greatest integer smaller than 3 plus root 5 whole cube. So all we need to show is that this is an integer. Okay, so let's see. So 3 plus root 5 whole cube plus 3 minus root 5 whole cube. So the first one, we are just going to use a plus b whole cube formula, which is a cube plus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus b cube. This is an algebraic identity. So this is 3 cube plus 3 square root 5 plus 3 into 3 root 5 square plus root 5 whole cube. And we'll just use the a minus b whole square cube formula, and the signs will just flip. This is minus and this is also minus. So now this will this will cancel and this will cancel. Good news is only the even powers of root 5 stays. The even powers. So that means we will not have the surd anymore. So like this is 27 plus 9 times 5, 45 plus 27 plus 45. So 54 plus 90, which is 144. So the correct answer, the integer that is smaller than 3 plus root 5 whole cube, is 143, right? So the answer is 143. If you want to try out past year problems from Singapore Math Olympiad or IOQM or American Math Competition, we have a very good collection of topic-wise problems in our website. You can go and check it out. You can also take a mock test. Some of them are free. You can also join our WhatsApp community where we continuously discuss beautiful problems. Thank you for joining in. I'll see you in the next one. Keep on doing great problems. Okay? Bye.